Kunshan in China's eastern heartland looks beautiful, with its willow-lined ponds and new playgrounds, yet for many of its residents the scene has shifted from factory floors to park benches. The headline, "They don't need people, the workers left behind by China's robot drive," reminds us that behind the glossy news of China's technological boom lies a quieter crisis. In a park inside China's richest county, 31-year-old Hu Xinbing and about a dozen other former factory workers sit with windbreakers as pillows, waiting for a job that never comes. They are surrounded by a generation of workers who once formed the backbone of Kunshan's booming electronics industry, which at its height produced a third of the world's laptops. For decades, buses of laborers from provinces such as Hunan poured into Kunshan to assemble devices for Apple and Dell. The county's reputation as one of China's most economically developed jurisdictions followed, and with it, steady wages, as much as 6,000 yuan, around $885 a month, during peak cycles. Today, that steady income has vanished. The factories have largely turned to automation and robotics to keep costs low and remain competitive amid trade friction. Machines now drive screws and sew, reducing the need for human hands. In the words of Hu now spends his days in security gigs that pay between 60 and 120 yuan, or $9 to $18, the reality is stark. It feels like there won't be any work left in the future if things keep developing like this. Yet it's not just Hu's story. Tens of millions across China face the same fate as the country pivots from low-end manufacturing toward advanced technology. The state has poured resources into high-tech sectors such as artificial intelligence and, oddly enough, flying cars. These new industries have the potential to drive growth but also come with a high skill threshold. The jobs they create are for engineers, data scientists, and other professionals, positions that won't be filled by the low-skill, large-scale assembly line workers who once thrived in Shenzhen, Chengdu, or Kunshan. The gap between high-skill and low-skill jobs is widening, and the children of today's assembly line workers are finding fewer doors open to them. The park in Kunshan, a place that once offered a sense of community and security, has become a makeshift job board for a workforce that no longer serves the factories it built. In the middle of this transformation, the Chinese government pushes companies to adopt the latest gadgets, from drones to AI algorithms, promising even higher wages for the next generation. But the present workers who laid the groundwork for China's economic rise are left behind, sleeping in park benches, working part-time gigs, and waiting for a future they no longer see. Their story is a reminder that technological progress, no matter how impressive, must be paired with thoughtful transition plans. Workers like Hu Xinbing are invisible but essential to the country's past momentum, and their silence echoes through Kunshan's manicured lawns. The headline concludes that the future of China's manufacturing will continue to lean toward robots, not people. But who will pick up the slack as that shift unfolds? That remains the question at the park's quiet benches, while the rest of the world watches Chinese factories, now dreaming of flying cars and AI dominance. In the end, the scene in Kunshan is not just a local tragedy, it is a snapshot of the broader question facing any nation that embraces automation: how do you care for the people who built the foundation? That is a question with no easy answer, and one that is beginning to be asked louder and louder in China's most prosperous county.